Good afternoon. My name is Amanda Jarvis, and I'm with the Virginia SBDC Network. For those of you that are not familiar with our organization, the Virginia Small Business Development Center is a partnership program between the U.S. Small Business Administration, George Mason University, and local host institutions throughout Virginia. With 27 locations across the Commonwealth, we provide training and technical assistance to small businesses in their local communities. Our one-on-one consulting services are available at no charge. Today's bootcamp, Grow Your Business with Digital Marketing, is presented by the Virginia SBDC Network. We are recording today's presentation and it will be posted on our website, virginiasbdc.org. Due to the large number of participants, everyone's microphone is muted, but if you have questions during the presentation, you can type those into the Q&A box. We have also enabled the live transcript function, which you can show or hide via your meeting controls. And now it is my pleasure to introduce our presenter for today's session. Cameron Nelson is the Chief Digital Advisor for Virginia SBDC and Central Virginia SBDC. Mr. Nelson has over 18 years of experience in technology and as a senior tech consultant in Silicon Valley, helping Fortune 500 companies improve their digital marketing and e-commerce. At the same time, he founded several tech companies, including a software as service website for tree preservation and a blockchain platform for nonprofits. Cameron is accomplished in language, culture, has an MBA and MA, and believes new technology products have the ability to help shape our world for the better. Please join me in welcoming our presenter for today, Cameron Nelson.
Thanks for the introduction, and hello everybody. Welcome to How to Grow Your Business with Digital Marketing. I'm looking forward to presenting to you today. We're going to talk about this topic at a pretty high level, but then I want to save 15 or 20 minutes at the end for your questions. So I hope you'll all think of a question or two that you want to ask me. And if we don't get around to your questions, you can always set up a meeting with me one-on-one to discuss your small business needs. So let's jump right into it. The first thing I want to discuss are the top 5 reasons why you want to use digital marketing today. And the main takeaway here is that digital marketing creates growth, unlike other types of marketing that are more traditional. In today's day, this is one of the main ways for businesses to increase their growth, either online or offline. So the first reason why digital marketing is something you should be looking into is that because it has a broad geographical reach. When you post an ad online, people can see it no matter where they are. You know, as long as you haven't limited your ad geographically. And so this will make it easy for your business to grow your market share and to reach new markets. It's also very cost effective. Unlike many traditional types of ads like newspaper or television, digital marketing gives you a ton of flexibility in customizing your ad and being able to target your ideal customers using analytics. Third, digital marketing gives you immediate and quantifiable results. So any type of digital marketing ad you want to create, it could be on Facebook or Instagram or Google or some other platform, they're going to give you the ability to track all sorts of data like the conversions you get, which are those who bought your product after seeing it on your ad, or opening an email, or visiting your website. You can track all of that almost instantaneously. Fourth, digital marketing gives you easier personalization. Because the big companies, big tech companies like Google and Microsoft and Apple have so much data on people and customers, this will enable you to use your digital marketing to target their likes, their behaviors, their geographic location, their age, etc. So this is a powerful tool that digital marketers can use. And fifth, it gives you an easy path to conversions, because when you see a digital ad, you can click on that link to immediately buy the product or service if you want, unlike having to read about something in a newspaper or see it on a billboard and then having to go through other steps and wait longer before you can make that purchase decision. So we're going to be talking about 4 of the main strategies to implement digital marketing for your small business. The first one is social media marketing and email marketing. This is a tool primarily to increase your brand awareness and to personalize your outbound marketing messages to your customers. Second are paid ads and SEO, which is search engine optimization. This is when you post an ad on a network, like I mentioned before, and making your web pages more attractive to search engines to increase your rank with them. By optimizing your website design to increase your search results, your ranking and search results, you can show up more often, and that'll lead to more sales with your business online. Third is affiliate marketing. This is an not often used way of marketing online, but it's a very powerful one. And by this means third-party publishers or influencers generate traffic or leads to your products and services. Fourth is analytics. Now, this is a theme that I come back to throughout all these sections, but really the key to a successful marketing strategy and implementation online is understanding your data and understanding what that tells you about your success and your failures. So how you maximize your marketing spend and your energies on marketing online. So we're going to talk about the main things to look out for, how to track it with analytics to improve your online customer acquisition. First is social media marketing. So social media marketing can be done on any of the major social media platforms, which you're probably all familiar with. Some of the big ones are listed down here at the bottom, but there's other ones. And depending on your unique industry or your product, you might know of a social media channel that's not listed here, and that's totally fine. I mean, you could be focused on a crowd that's using Discord or a chatting service like that, or an academic social media platform or LinkedIn. And these are all completely legitimate places to do social media marketing. And the benefits and the steps are going to be the same for any of them. So the first benefit here is that you can increase your brand awareness with social media marketing. This is because you will engage people in discussion. So let's just say you're a bakery and you have a brand new cupcake flavor, you're really excited. You can post pictures about that and text descriptions or a video, and people can discuss it online. This is a great way to get feedback from your potential customers. Maybe they say, oh, I like the sound of it, but I don't like the fact that it has pineapple on it. So you could maybe make a version without pineapple. So this helps you to get that instant feedback. It has the element of audience participation, which is really valuable and very uncommon in marketing. Secondly, it provides these useful metrics, this data that's very important to be able to track and understand. There's going to be built-in metrics that'll measure different levels of engagement, and it's going to help you understand how well you're reaching your audience. And third, social media marketing helps build that trust and dialogue, which is so important in selling online. Many brands, whether it's a small business or a big business, use social media primarily to build trust and to start these dialogues with their audience, rather than encouraging to spend money and buy the product just right away. Because studies and research has shown that if you provide useful and helpful content on a regular basis, people are going to trust your brand and end up buying your product because you are a trusted source of information. So that's a strong marketing strategy that's quite often the best path to success. So related to social media marketing is email marketing. So we've all experienced getting emails from businesses that we've signed up for a newsletter, or we bought a product and now they email us forever. Email marketing can be a very powerful tool, but there's some good important do's and don'ts when you go to implement email marketing. First, the do's. You should individualize the content in the body and the subject of your emails. So what this means is that instead of having a generic hi, comma, and then launch into your email, you can have it say, hi, Mark, or hi, Susan. You can actually auto-populate the first name in many cases with the person's name. So you should always do that when it's available, just to make it more individual. Secondly, you should always state clearly what kind of email the subscriber will get. So if they're subscribing to a newsletter on your webpage or on your Facebook, make sure they understand what they're going to be getting. It decreases the chance that they're going to just unsubscribe right away because they get something that they didn't want. Next is that you need to offer a clear unsubscribe option. This is built into all the major email platforms like MailChimp, Constant Contact, or Facebook. But you need to make sure that it's there if you're using a different platform. You should integrate both what's called a transactional and promotional email. So, you can think of transactional emails as being, here's a product, buy something. And a promotional email is more, here's a news alert, here's a new product, here's a sale. So you want to mix and match your types of emails and not just focus on one or the other. And lastly, you want your prospects, your sales prospects, to see your marketing campaign as a valued service and not just a pure promotional tool. Some of the things that you should not do are use overhyped subject lines, things with all caps or a lot of exclamation points. Don't use an email address that says no reply or that doesn't accept replies. And sometimes we see this with big business emails or maybe government agency emails because they don't want the feedback. But as a small business, you want to encourage the dialogue in any form, whether it's positive or negative. You want to get the feedback. So you should always send these emails from something like info at your domain name or contact at, and this will ensure people know they can reply to it and actually get somebody on the other end to talk about whatever their question is. You don't want to send out emails that just offer no value. So you want to provide suggestions on, solving the problem for your target customer. What's your product solving for them? Talk about latest trends or news updates. Offer some value to them. You don't want to offer too many call to actions. So typically in an email, you'll have one or maybe two actions you want the person to take. For example, you could have a new product launching, but also have a holiday sale. You could have links to both kind of pages on your website in an email. Those are both a call to action, but you never really want more than two. And in fact, if you can keep it just to one, that's the most effective way to make sure somebody takes the call to action you want them to take, which is going to be the one that maximizes your profits online. You don't want to send out an email that's too long. So what is too long? It varies a little bit among your industry and your competitors, but anything that's over a page of text or so is probably going to be considered too long, and not many people are going to read through it. The next thing you don't want to do is you don't want to not segment your email list or send irrelevant emails. So if you have half of your target market, let's say they're teenagers and the other half are grandparents, segmenting the list will make sure that when you have a product aimed at the teenage market, only those people who are teenagers on the email list, called teenagers, will receive that email, and not the grandparents. So you don't want to send the wrong people what they'll consider irrelevant emails. You want to make sure that your emails are optimized for mobile devices. If you're sending using any of the major platforms, like I just discussed, they're going to be optimized for mobile, almost guaranteed. But sometimes you might, use an image or have some attachment in that thing that does mess up the mobile view. So I always recommend that you will preview it yourself first on your own mobile device by sending it to you or someone you trust to give you feedback, and make sure that if there's anything wrong, you notice it first before it goes out to hundreds or thousands. Sending emails at the wrong time or sending too many is something to avoid. The right time to send email, it varies, and as does the best day of the week. It varies a bit among your industry, but in general, in the morning time around 8:30 to 9:30 is good, when people are usually just getting into work or on their way to work, and they might have a few minutes to check these kind of emails from businesses, or in the evenings between 6 and 7 p.m. or that is the second best time, generally speaking. And the last thing is, don't ignore analytics. Again, the data that you have access to is going to really open doors of insight to show you what's working and what's not. So be careful to always, allocate some time to look at your analytics to make sure that you are maximizing your spend, your marketing spend online. So talking about marketing spend, the next section are paid ads. These are most commonly referred to as pay-per-click or PPC ads. This is posting an ad on a network and paying every time someone clicks on it. The largest ad networks are Google and Microsoft, YouTube, which is also owned by Google, Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Pinterest. There are, of course, others, like I mentioned, and you might find that there's a different social media network that has an ad network that you'd rather use, and that's completely fine. When you create a paid ad, there are 4 elements which impact whether or not the ad is shown. So it's important to understand what these are, because these are consistent across every ad network. Each ad network uses an algorithm that will prioritize the ads shown based on these factors. The first is ad quality. Ad quality is everything from the grammar of the ad to the images used. So if you have the option of an image or a video ad, say it's on Facebook, and your image is of a low resolution and it's pixelated, the algorithm knows that, and it decreases your ad quality because it just doesn't think this is a well put together ad to show people. The second element is keyword relevance. So this is just matching up the words in your ad to the words that are searched for. So it's important to understand the keywords and the search terms that your target market is using when you want them to find your ad. So hopefully just by running your business, you have a good idea of what these words are. If not, you can reach out to do a survey from your target market and kind of get more insight to understand what words your ad should be using. The third factor is landing page quality. Every ad is going to have a link to a web page, and that web page could be a home page, it could be a product page, it could be a downloadable PDF, it could be a video, whatever it is. The quality of the landing page is part of the rank, and what would decrease the quality is having spelling errors, grammar errors, having a web page that is not optimized for mobile. So maybe the website is really old and it's not optimized for mobile. The ad networks know that, and they will decrease your landing page quality score based on that. And the last one is the bid amount. So when you create a paid ad, you can have it automatically have the bid you want to pay every time somebody clicks on that. And essentially what you're doing is bidding against somebody else in your industry. So if you were a used car lot in Richmond, Virginia, there's probably lots of used car lots that have ads going at the same time. If you say, hey, I'll bid $3 per click, and the other competitor has said, I'll only bid $2 per click, then you do have the chance of getting your ad shown more because you'll pay more for it. So that's the bid amount. You can let the algorithm just set that for auto, which is usually fine, or you can usually manually tweak that if you're willing to pay more because maybe you have a high volume sales event, you just need to get stuff sold, you need to get the ad out there, so you can increase your bid amount. The next element of digital marketing is search engine optimization. Unlike the paid ads we just talked about, which give you website traffic that you pay for, search engine optimization gives you free or organic website traffic that you don't pay for. But it requires you to understand how this SEO is ranked, so you can make sure that you're going to give your website the highest possible ranking it can achieve. Again, there are 4 elements that go into website SEO that the major search engines will look at. They are the quality of the content. So again, grammar errors, low resolution, many things can impact quality like that. Also is the level of user engagement. So Google, for example, knows how long people spend on every website they go to. Google knows how many pages they go to and which pages. If your website has a low level of user engagement because people leave right away, Google's going to say the website is not very interesting to people. It will not show it in many search results. So that will negatively impact your SEO score. The third factor, again, is mobile friendliness. You should always make sure your website is pulling up fine on Android phones, iOS phones, tablets. And if you have a website within the last 2 or 3 years, you're probably fine here. But if your website's older than that, you should double check that everything works. Every page on the website will be scored for mobile friendliness. And if pages are found to not display properly on mobile, then it will give you a lower SEO rank. And finally is the number and quality of inbound links. What this means is that if you have somebody who's outside of your website linking to your website, could be in a blog post, could be in a social media post, maybe a news outlet mentioned you and they link to your website in a news article. These are actually really great inbound links, and the number of them and the quality of them will increase your website SEO overall. The quality of an inbound link means if there's a news outlet that gets 10 visitors a day, the quality is not very high. But if there's a news outlet that gets 1 million visitors a day and they link to you, the quality of that refer link is way higher because they have more visitors. So Google knows that, and they'll say, hey, this is really high quality inbound link. It'll really bump up your SEO. So these are the tools and the tactics you can use to maximize those free website visitors, which are really important to expanding your business online. The third category of digital marketing is affiliate marketing. It's a strategy where your company will pay some affiliate partner for any sales and business created. So you can access motivated and enthusiastic influencers and creative people to help you sell your products. They can be celebrities, influencers, or just any trusted voice in your industry. So you do need to do research and really understand who out there has the ear of the masses, so to speak, or the ear of your target market. Some of the pros of affiliate marketing are that it gives you quick access to a broad market. So if you're a new business and you don't have any following online, it can be really hard to build up somewhere. But if you have a good product and an affiliate wants to promote that product, it can give you really quick access to your ideal target market. Affiliates you're going to vet them to make sure that they're talking to the same market you are. So they're going to give you only qualified leads or people already interested in your type of product and service. And it can be a surprisingly low cost means of advertising online. But it doesn't come without its risks, of course. It can be subject to fraud because if you make a contract with an affiliate, they don't uphold their end of the bargain. It's often that you don't know them personally. And so, you could be kind of a gray area of an unfulfilled contract. So there are cases where, fraud has happened. You also have less creative control. You're not really giving them a script to go off of. So who knows what they'll say about your product. So you do lose that control. And if you provide any goods up front for them to review or test, there's no real guarantee you'll get those back. So it could be vulnerable to theft. The biggest affiliate program online now is Amazon Associates, which probably a lot of us have heard about. If you Google a review for headphones or something, you'll find a lot of third-party sites that review this stuff. And then they say, oh, the price on Amazon is this, and they have a link to buy it. Well, they're all affiliates and they get about a 2 to 3% cut of the commission from that sale from Amazon. So that's an example of this affiliate system in action. There are 3 types of affiliate marketing, and they kind of go from the least personal to the most personal or the most expert. And so starting at the top is an unattached affiliate. And this is a person who has no connection with the product or service that they're promoting at all. They don't really have any skills in its use, and they don't really make any claims about its use. So they're often, they can be beneficial, and they're often quite inexpensive compared to the other options. But there is somebody who's just going to mention or talk about your product. The second level is a related affiliate, and they do have a relationship to what you're offering. So they have some expertise in this area because they're probably already in this niche. And so they have a level of authority, and they are a trusted source of information to your target market. But they're not really going to do a full review of your service. For that, you'll go what's called an involved affiliate. They're going to use your product. They're confident that it's a good one. They're going to share their experience online and talk about it. And they're going to be a trusted source of information to your target market. So they can be very valuable in helping to galvanize your target market around your product and get the word out. This can be the most expensive method because this affiliate is putting their reputation on the line. So if you ship a bunch of products that are of low quality, their reputation would be impacted. So you will be paying more for this type of affiliate services. The next section is the analytics. So I know some people love thinking about analytics and data. Some people really don't. I would say that in my experience, every small business that is working with online sales needs to have some basic level of understanding when it comes to the analytics. a lot don't, and I talk to them and I show them how it's beneficial. So I hope that by giving everybody this grounding of the 6 marketing analytics metrics you should pay attention to. If you're not already involved with your analytics, it's going to give you an idea of where to start. So the first one are your traffic sources. So when we talk about your website, your .com, your domain name, you're going to be looking at different data of the visitors. They can be direct visitors, which would be someone who clicks on a link in an email they were sent, or in the signature line of your email address, or in a blog post. They just clicked on a link to go to your website. You also have organic search visitors who type in something in a search engine and they pull up your website and go to it. And the last type of traffic source that's important are referrals, which would come from places like your affiliates and affiliate marketing. So, let's just say you got set up with an affiliate, you had high hopes. They said, we'll give you thousands of hits to your website, and you look at your analytics, and in the time span they were supposed to promote your stuff, they sent you 50. You can really understand how effective they've been and either use them or not use them again. The second analytic is page views, which measures the number of times a user loads your web pages. It'll also show you which pages are accessed the most, and how long people spend on them, which is actually the next part, average session duration. But if you have a page that has a high number of page views and you're selling a product there, but a very low amount of sales are generated, you might be curious about that, and you might see that there's a problem. It could be that you have a wrong link somewhere, so people can't complete the checkout process, or some other issue on the page. So by glancing through your page views, you can quickly see kind of where opportunities and risks lie. The next one is average session duration. This is just how long people spend on different pages. Of course, the longer they stay on, generally it's better for you because that means they're interested and engaged. That helps your SEO, but it also means they're more likely to return or to buy things. You can increase average session duration by doing things like posting more useful information, having really good engaging images, having videos, things like that. Fourth is the bounce rate. So this is the percentage of people who just leave your site or bounce off of it, so to speak, after viewing only one page for just a few seconds. So this is a negative metric. You want this to be as low as possible. A lot of websites have an 80% or 90% bounce rate. This isn't horrible, but this is not very efficient or optimized either. I've spoken to businesses who have a 40 or 50% bounce rate. This is a lot better. It means your marketing's more on point. It means you're not wasting people's time when they go to your page and it's not what they're looking for. It can also be a great indicator not only of your marketing strategy and who's reading your marketing messages and are they your right customer, but it's an indicator of the effectiveness of your content on the web page. So if you have a video, but let's just say it's a boring video and it's losing everybody's interest, they're not watching it fully, and you'll see that in the bounce rate. So it can show you where you should upgrade or improve your website. The next analytic is the exit rate, which shows how many people or what percentage of people left from different pages. So let's just say you have a home page and 5 product pages. If 95% of your people leave from the home page, you see you got a big problem because very few are actually making it to any of the product pages to buy something. That could indicate that the links to your product pages are too obscure, too hard to find. Maybe the color is blending in with the background, people can't see it, or there's some other disconnect. You want the exit rate to be from a checkout confirmation page, which indicates you've made revenue from that person because they bought something. And lastly, we have the conversion rate. It's a very important metric, which is the percentage of the visitors who go to your website who actually make a conversion, which is often buying a product, but it doesn't need to be just that. You could say your conversion, you're tracking subscribers to a newsletter or some other action you want them to take. And having a high conversion rate means your website is efficient at converting random users who don't know about your product into taking that action, which could be buying your product. So to wrap it all up, digital marketing is without a doubt a very effective way to increase your business and your online sales. One of its primary benefits is that it offers great insight into your customers and what they like and who they are, where they're located, even their buying habits, what they bought in the past. It can tell you what on your website is working and not working for getting a high conversion rate or for increasing your SEO ranking. And it can help you better target your customers with things like email campaigns. So there's a lot for a first timer to kind of take in here, and I understand that. So it's important to always learn about new changes that are happening in online marketing to stay aware of, latest. If there's a change in SEO that's drastically reshaping the internet, it's good to hear about that. You can also talk to other business owners or take other classes like this one to keep your knowledge up. And so, where to start if you're not currently doing online marketing, or if you feel like your online marketing is not really working. I think that it's so unique for each business and industry that there's no one size fits all answer, but you should start with your gut feeling about what content or what channels makes the most sense for you to be posting on and advertising on. There are many free forms of this digital marketing. And so all you really need to do is take some time to get them started. And you can be surprised at how quickly some strategies can pay off. Also, you should always be learning from your data, because your analytics will tell a story, and the story will say whether or not you're being successful in various activities you're attempting. And over time, it'll help you run a successful online business. So by understanding and modifying your strategy, you can be creative in your approach to marketing, and hopefully outthinking the competitors who are also doing many of the similar marketing tactics you are. And so you can capture, more market share and more revenue for your business. So with that, I'd like to thank everybody who took the time to join today. We'll have 20 or 25 minutes now for your questions, and you can type them into the chat box. And I'd love to answer as many of them as we have time for today. And if you have to go, thank you for joining and have a wonderful day.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cameron. We have a few questions. So the first one, which I put in the chat, but I'm going to go ahead and answer. Will there be a recording of this webinar? The answer is yes. Everyone who attended today will receive an email afterwards with a link to the recording and to the slides. So that will happen. The next one, is it helpful to start with paid ads and eventually slow them down when your product becomes more known?
Yes, it can be. So if you have a marketing budget and you want to start with a big campaign, a big ad campaign, absolutely. The minimum you'd want to start with is probably $300 a month, but let's just say you have $1,000 a month to spend. It can make a lot of sense to spend that more at the beginning to get the word out about your product. And once you have sales coming in, and once you've built up your social media channels with a couple hundred or a couple thousand followers, now when you post free messages, you have people actually seeing them. And so you have a lot of repeat buyers and new buyers finding you from more like word of mouth. So it does make a lot of sense early on to kind of preload your marketing budget. And a good part of that strategy can be finding an influencer or affiliate who you might want to pay, say, a couple $1,000s to give you a big boost in your marketing right at the get-go. It can help your business really get a good start.
Do you have, I'll just ask, I know the answer to this. I need more one-on-one assistance with social media marketing. Do you provide one-on-one assistance, Cameron?
Yeah, and my email is here on the screen and also be emailed out to you in the presentation. So yeah, feel free to reach out to me.
All right. On Google Analytics, there's a transition from Universal to Google for platforms. What does a small business owner need to do to ensure continuity? Any new plugins needed for website for this? Will this transition also affect Google My Business?
Great questions. I just saw the announcement about that today. So Google Universal Analytics is kind of their analytics platform for the last 4 or 5 years. They said now they're replacing that with Analytics version 4. I don't actually know the implications yet. I haven't had time to study that, but I would think that at least you'll have to replace the tracking code on your web page with new code. That's typically what they've done when they've changed versions in the past. It should not affect Google for Business. which is the maps.google.com kind of platform. It shouldn't affect any of that, I don't think. But you'll probably just need to replace the tracking code with the updated tracking code on the website.
Great, thank you. I'm considering e-commerce for herbal products. Any resources that you might recommend that focuses on logistics specifically?
Yeah, if you're thinking of having someone help like ship your products or warehouse them, yeah, the only kind of nationwide solution for that I know of is Amazon. There are undoubtedly local, shipment providers or warehousers maybe in your area, but Amazon will, in a large part, handle all that for you if you wanted to sell on Amazon as an e-commerce website.
Thanks. This person is very interested in knowing more about platforms to use to pay the affiliate marketers. They're working with influencers, but need to work out how to track and pay them.
That's a good question. I haven't researched platforms that help you manage affiliate marketing specifically. When it comes to paying them, I assume you could pay them through normal means of bank wire transfer or ACH kind of transfers like that. But that's a really good question. And I'll look into platforms that help you track influencer activity. But what I do know is you can track their impact by looking at your website analytics. And if they had a campaign to help you sell product X and you have tracking code on the page for product X, you can see exactly how many referrals came from their campaigns in your analytics. And you can even track the money and revenue that they've generated if you set a conversion or set a campaign goal in Google Analytics. So that is a free way to track influencers' benefits to your business.
Great, thank you. How do you vet a Google ad expert? Are they worth hiring, or are these ads easy to self-develop, monitor, etc.?
Google ads are incredibly easy to set up. If you just go to ads.google.com, there's a little wizard thing that says step 1, do this, step 2, do this. It couldn't be simpler. You could have an ad set up in 10 minutes. The trick comes in where, there's a learning curve. And like I said, you need to match a lot of keywords in your ad with keywords and people are searching for. So if you don't know what those are, this expert will probably have some tools where they'll go to look up common keywords in certain industries and help kind of build your knowledge about what keywords are being used and to write your ad to kind of match those. So I would say if you're comfortable with diving into that and learning about that and learning about the keywords that are being searched for to find your types of products, then you can definitely do it yourself. If, however, you prefer to have someone else take that time, then it sounds like an expert, someone who's done this before would be a good bet. At least you could work with them on the first ad maybe and learn, and then do the next ads by yourself without their help.
All right, thanks. I am in the dream stage. How do you get access to your analytics?
What was the first part? In the what stage?
In the dream stage. Maybe they're thinking about starting up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so there's several different analytics platforms out there, but the one that I always think about first when I think about analytics is Google Analytics. It's completely free, and as was mentioned before, it's upgrading to version 4, but it's the most widely used analytics in the world. You just go to analytics.google.com. They'll help you get set up. You log in with your email address, and they'll ask you some questions. It's completely free. And at the end of it, they give you tracking code, which is like HTML code you need to put on your website. And that actually is what links your website to the data collection and analysis of Google Analytics. The other analytics platform that a lot of people use is Facebook, and that's called Pixel. And it's very similar to Google Analytics. You can actually put Facebook Pixel tracking code on your website, and it kind of competes with Google Analytics in a lot of ways. So, if you're using Facebook for your ads, then having Facebook Pixel tracking your website is a really smart idea. But at least you want Google Analytics, and you can have them both running and on the same website as well. So start with Google Analytics, and then you maybe go into Facebook later on.
Great, thanks. Does my company need to have a website? We just have a Facebook page right now.
Well, that's a great question. And I assume you're selling a product or a service on your Facebook page. Facebook is a great means to get started, but often creating your own website like yourbusiness.com will do a few important things. It'll help give your company more legitimacy online. It'll give you a better brand image. You'll be able to customize your own website a lot more with logos and taglines and just really make it fit the needs of your target market. So by doing all that, you can present your business with more polished, image, which can help you charge more money for your products at the end of the day and make a higher profit margin. So yes, I definitely think if you've been fairly successful with the Facebook page, building your own website as a next step is the right move to do.
Great, thanks. We are about to change from MailChimp to Klaviyo for email. Do you have experience with Klaviyo? I think that's how you say it. We will have a Shopify website and they seem to work together well. Thank you.
I'm familiar with MailChimp. I think that's the most widely used email platform out there, but I'm not familiar with Klaviyo at all. I've never really heard that name, so I guess I don't have any recommendations with that.
All right, thanks. Do you have a recommendation as to how to get a website set up?
Yeah, it depends on your needs. If you just need a really simple website, the most simple, easy to build website, then you can get a free website from a place like Wix or squarespace.com. If you want something that can do e-commerce and maybe is a bit more robust, has more features, then building a website on the WordPress platform is what I'd recommend. WordPress is free, but you do need to pay for a hosting plan. So there can be some fees involved if you want to go that route, but if you want just a basic level website, take a look at wix.com, W-I-X, or squarespace.com. They're pretty good providers of free websites.
How vital are the algorithms?
The algorithms. Well, I think we talked about a couple of different algorithms today. There's the SEO algorithm, there's the paid ads algorithm. So I guess give me some clarification on what algorithm you're referring to. Thanks. And we can circle back with that one.
Sorry about that. I had an interruption here. Let's see here. Could you discuss more about the minimum amount to spend on Facebook ads per ad to be effective?
Yeah, great question. So Facebook, like Google, they will help you create your ad and they'll suggest a minimum budget. Facebook is, I think the minimum they recommend is $5 a day. And they estimate that for $5 a day, your ad will be seen in 3,000 people's kind of feed, and that they'll estimate 100 people will click on it, something like that. They'll give you estimates. And then if you bump it up to $10 a day, they'll update their estimates and say, now we think it'll go to this many people. So the amount you spend for every click on the ad is usually just in the cents, like 10 cents or 15 cents. But you normally set a daily budget. You set the maximum budget you want Facebook to spend. And same with Google.
Great. What's the best place to start with a very limited budget?
Well, if you have less than $300 a month to spend on a paid ad campaign, a paid ad, then I wouldn't do paid ads. Typically that's about the minimum. So if you have less than that, a marketing strategy would be just be creative. You can set up free social media pages. You can post interesting things. You can follow other social media influencers. And if you have a really compelling product or service, they might be interested in you and then talk about you. And that would be free marketing, right? So you can do a lot that's free. It just takes a lot of time. And also you need to have a good product or service to interest people. So that's an approach. There's a lot of details and other things that we could talk about. So if you're interested in having a one-on-one meeting, then reach out to me and we can kind of dive into that a little bit deeper.
Thank you. You talked about connecting with other sites and that this was relatively easy. I have a bumper sticker business of a political nature. What would be good sites for me to get connected with?
Well, getting connected with another site, I'm thinking of, okay, if you make political bumper stickers, let's just say there is a political commentator who had a large following, right, online, of which there are many. That would be a good individual to be connected with, right? They're not really a company, but I think in your case, if you made bumper stickers that this influencer really loved, and they said, hey, you can buy really cool bumper stickers at this website, then you could have tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people learn about your business for very little work on your part. So I think in this industry, looking for those influencers and maybe saying, hey, I want to send you some free bumper stickers, or hey, I want to make a custom bumper sticker for your political party, whatever it is, kind of have a unique pitch to them. And if one of them gets interested, that can be a great way to kind of form a partnership.
Thank you. Where do you go online to see the latest changes? A class on marketing analytics and tools would be great. Great presentation as always.
Thank you. Well, to learn about the latest, I mean, in online marketing and digital marketing, as we covered, there's many different facets. So if you want to learn updates to SEO algorithms, that's one thing, or ad strategy on Facebook, that's a whole different category. So it's hard to stay abreast of everything that's happening, even if you're a professional who just does nothing but digital marketing. So, setting up a Google alert for digital marketing would be good, or some related topics. And that way, when news stories are posted about some event or some improvement, then you'll get an alert about that. And you can set those up at alerts.google.com. Also, just searching Google or searching YouTube for recent videos about online marketing strategy. You can filter by, give me stuff in the last week. And so I'll show you really recent results, either in video format or maybe published on a blog or in a news outlet. So you can stay abreast of the latest happenings that way.
Great, thank you. Do you have any special suggestions for service-based websites, for example, like massage and yoga?
Yeah, absolutely. They're a different beast than selling a product online. And so a lot of the businesses I work with are service-based businesses. One of your best strategies is to be listed on Google Maps if you have a physical location. And if you're not listed on Google Maps, you can get there by going to business.google.com and going through some steps, and then you'll be listed on Google Maps. So that's number one, having that physical location. Then if you have a website, then you should talk about your services that you provide. Let's just say it's yoga. Talk about what are your differentiators. Do this on your Facebook page as well, or any social media. Have some great pictures of your classes, of your clients, or whoever it happens to be who are buying your services. Get some testimonials and get some reviews that you can put on Facebook and on your website. Maybe get some video content. Maybe you have a yoga class and you have a cool 60-second video of highlight clips from different days. So those are just some ideas of ways you can really market a service-based business, but there's a lot of details we could go into in addition. So if you want to reach out to me, feel free, and then we can talk more about it.
Great, thank you. So kind of in the same, we cater to federal and private sector customers and provide a different set of products and services to each sector. What would you recommend for a small company like ours in terms of marketing? Also, at a minimum, what things should we consider? And can you share a bit more about digital stalking to optimize SEO? That's a few questions.
Well, if you're selling to federal agencies, different types of federal agencies, yeah, your marketing is going to be quite different. You're a B to government type of business. So I think on your website and your marketing should focus on the services you provide, any certifications or licenses that you have that are relevant, of course. Maybe you can get some testimonials from former clients or people who have bought your services, like in the government. I think testimonials help in that case. Other than that, I mean, it's a great question. I do focus more on B2B and B2C businesses than the business to government services. So those are just some general ideas, but I know at the SBDC, we do have people who help businesses sell to governments. So they might actually have some real more targeted suggestions for you. And if you're interested in contacting them, the email address here on the screen, help@virginiasSBDC.org, would help you to get to the right resource.
Great, thanks. Interested in more info on the Google Analytics for influencers. Do we have any training available on this?
We don't. I don't offer any additional training on that topic. I think that if you wanted to search Google for how to track influencers' progress or success, I think you'll find probably some really interesting articles and information about that. Maybe even some businesses that help provide some software to help you track that. But I don't really know of any specifically. But if you want to talk more about that, that might also be a good topic to have a one-on-one conversation about, so we can go a bit deeper into that.
Great. I own a service-based company, home organization, and our business is largely based on the time and service we provide. So far, it's been very successful, but we were trying to figure out a way to make more money without being in person, but there are so many options. Create branded products, sign up to be an affiliate marketer, etc. What have you found to be a good starter digital direction? We have a site and a presence on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, there's a lot of different options. Like you said, one that comes to mind would be if you want to sell a digital product around home organization, then what if you had a series of training videos or tutorial videos that were either free or you bought, that you paid for? If they're really valuable tips and tricks or whatever you find is people are asking about, you might be able to sell, a $5 training video package to help people be their own home organizers. So that's an idea. Video content could help you out there.
Great, thank you. Any keyword search engines or tools you recommend?
Yeah, Google has their own, which has always, I found, been very helpful. They've changed the link, the URL to it recently. It used to be like keyword.google.com, but I think if you Google keyword tool, you'll find the new version of it. It's very helpful. It does help you understand, like if you're selling, let's say you're selling, alpaca fur or something like that. That's a pretty specific thing, but there's probably different search terms people are typing in that are related to buying alpaca fur. And you'll, by using a tool like this one, it'll tell you what those related search terms are. So that's probably the place I would start. And I don't remember the current link to it.
Great, thanks. Has Facebook been impacted by Apple's new security features? If yes, what are your recommendations to get maximum benefit from Facebook?
I don't know of any Facebook, if they've been impacted by any changes that Apple's made. I vaguely remember hearing something about that a while ago, but honestly, I don't know what the latest status of that is, so I couldn't tell you.
Thank you. Let's see here. If I wanted to know the cost of acquiring a customer, is there a program or platform that best creates this metric or calculates this?
Yeah, that's a great question. Typically, a CRM system, a customer relationship management system, will be designed to do that. So, your cost of acquiring a customer might be they had to see 3 ads before they bought a product. So maybe each ad cost 20 cents, so they cost 60 cents to acquire. A CRM system will ideally gather all this data and give you that answer and tell you what the cost is. And also tell you other things like the lifetime value of the customers, and you can sort them by the most valuable customer and all these cool things. So there's a lot of different CRM systems, if that's what you want. If you're a big business and you need all the bells and whistles, then Salesforce.com is a really good solution. It's also quite expensive, like hundreds of dollars a month. There's a much less expensive option that I really like as well for small businesses called Zoho, which is Zoho.com. And they offer a lot of great tools with the CRM and the CRM system and that package. So I would take a look at either one of those depending on your budget and your needs.
Great, thanks. Let's see, this is on email marketing. What are some other reasons that an email campaign would have gone to spam? We sent out an email campaign through Squarespace, which is where our website is hosted, and only 37 of 109 people opened it.
So there might be two issues. I mean, one, I'm not sure that we could say all those others went to spam. A lot of times people just won't open emails, especially if in the title it appears to be kind of a markety email. So it might not have gone to spam in those other 60 some cases. It might just simply have not been of interest. I don't know if you can really track exactly how many went to spam. I don't think you can tell. So my hunch is that many of those wouldn't have gone to spam. They just weren't opened, weren't read. So you might ask, why is that? Could be what's in the title, if you got any feedback from any of the people who opened it or who didn't open it, it'd be great to know what encouraged them to read that email or not read that email. But that's my hunch. And so you'll have to kind of test several theories to learn more about having message email titles. They get more opens. And so it depends a lot on what you're selling. But yeah, I think if you say you sent out 10 emails and you had a different strategy in each title, and probably by the end of that experiment, you could tell, get some idea of why certain email titles are being opened more than others.
Great, thanks. This person says they struggle to stay on top of social media management. We are a brick and mortar service business, but don't sell anything online, but try to stay engaged to drive awareness to our business. Do you have any tips? We have a hard time coming up with enough content to keep people engaged.
Yeah, it can be. I mean, let's say you're a brick and mortar store, maybe you have an event, like a holiday event or something. You don't necessarily need to post about all the mundane things that your business is doing, but if you have an event once or twice a year, maybe you just focus on that, just concentrate your efforts, maybe make a week of really interesting posts leading up to it, maybe some posts after it with pictures of the event, But yeah, I don't think it really helps you to just kind of have a daily or weekly post of things because yeah, you're not selling online. So I would focus on more unusual events or co-hosting an event with another business, or maybe there's some cool thing happening in a business that you talk about on your social media. So I kind of focus it on topics of current interest like that.
Great, thanks. Can my local SBDC office take a critical look at my website on multiple devices and give me ideas how to improve content and or structure? Or is there someone else who would be more appropriate? I feel like my organic placement could be better.
Yeah, I can definitely take a look at it. So if you want to email me and just remind me of what your website link is and let me know what your questions are again, then I'd be happy to dive into that and do some research and give you my analysis.
Thanks. There's a couple of people here who've been having some problems with putting their ads on Google. They tried to put the ad, but it was suspended for suspicious activity. And then also another person, they sell a herbal product and are repeatedly denied by Google to add their products to the merchant center. This is very limiting for our business. We have talked with Google and there are no opportunities to work around the bots that are reading our data. Larger companies are able to list the products on Google Merchant Center. How can we compete with larger companies if we don't have access to the same resources?
That's a great question. I know it can be really frustrating when other companies can do things you can't because you're being flagged by some automated system. Unfortunately, when it comes to Google and especially Facebook, your ability to talk to a live person is almost zero. And so you don't have a lot of recourse. You have to kind of get creative. If your Google ads is getting banned, you might have to say, look, we're not going to do Google ad for this business or this product. Maybe you can do an ad on a YouTube video ad. Maybe you can do an Instagram ad. Maybe you need to think of just some alternative ways to advertise. But yeah, I know the frustration. And unfortunately, I don't have an answer of how to get somebody at Google to like give you a fair treatment. I would just say it's probably not worth your time trying to get that done because it doesn't ever really work out.
Great. I think we maybe can do one more, and then I have a few more left, but I think if we didn't get to your questions today, feel free to reach out. I saw one, let's see here. Well, no, I'm not seeing it anymore, so. Yeah, kind of talking about the creative side of ads and marketing for your business. What do you recommend? Hiring a graphic designer or using Canva, etc.?
I use Canva a lot. I actually really like Canva. If anybody doesn't know, Canva, canva.com is a simple way to put together graphics or even videos, very useful in marketing. I think that if you have kind of a knack or a talent for design, I think using Canva yourself can be really good. I've definitely seen businesses avoid the cost of hiring a graphic designer because they build stuff in Canva. So if you have the time, I would definitely recommend it. If, however, you don't have experience with graphic design, or you go to Canva and you just think, I don't want to learn this system, that is really the easiest system out there. So if that is something that is too complicated, then I would think, yeah, just you want to hire a graphic designer or a marketing kind of specialist. Some places you can find a person like that would be upwork.com. I really like that site to find a freelancer, a graphic designer or marketer. You can search for people in the US or outside of the US and in different skills, so you can find the right resource to help you out.
Great, thanks. This is the one I was looking forward to ask. Any suggestions on what type of inexpensive equipment works best when creating content such as videos? There are so many options out there.
Yeah, as far as software to create videos, Canva is really great with that. And I've created lots of little promo videos for businesses with Canva. Was that the question, or was it more around hardware to use?
I'm thinking it's maybe about, I guess I assumed it was recording equipment or things like that.
Recording equipment.
I was wondering if you had anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you have a modern smartphone, you can probably get by with its capabilities. But if you need something fancier, then something like a DSLR camera would record video and take good photos. It would be a step up in quality, and those cost $400 or $500. So
great. Well, I think that's all the time we have for questions today. So thank you everybody for joining us today. Thank you, Cameron, for the awesome presentation. Thanks everybody for your questions. As I mentioned in the chat, you all will receive an email and a link to the recording and to the slides. If you'd like to sign up for upcoming webinars or access recorded webinars, please visit virginiasbdc.org/training. You can also access on our website the COVID Business Recovery Center, which we designed to help owners not only continue business operations, but to thrive and recover. All our resources are designed to be used in collaboration with your local SBDC advisors. You can sign up for free and confidential session by emailing help@virginiasbdc.org or on our website. Thank you all for attending, and we hope to see you all at our next session.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.